Welcome everyone to another week of my training. This was month 6, week 1 of my 531 hypertrophy, which is also a strength week. So I really just got some highlights for you guys. Run through my training. Some of this you might have already seen, but I'll pretty much just break down my form and stuff like that. So this was actually my only bench press clip I got from this week. This was my final volume set. So I hit this for 5. The person spotting me helped me when I really didn't need to, so I counted it for 5 because I'm pretty sure I would have got this last rep. But I hit 7 on my 5+. I didn't get that for footage, but bench press felt really well this week. My form's getting a lot better. I'm learning to get that arch and bench press more like a powerlifter than a bodybuilder, so pretty good. And then the rest of my upper workout was pretty good. I PR'd on incline bench press. I didn't get that, and also weighted chin-ups for like 35s, and one arm dumbbell row. This was not easy, but I definitely felt like I need to go the weight up. So these were 75s, and I hit 2 sets of 8 and then 2 sets of 7, I believe. So I want to go get down there a little bit with the weights on my strength week. So I actually increased the weights for 80s in my second upper body day, which you guys probably saw in my Snow Chronicles video, and I'll also have that on here. But I'm loving this movement, guys. It's a great movement. It feels more natural to me than like a barbell row. And then moving on to my squat day, this was not the best day I had. I think I was like dehydrated or something in the morning, and I was trying to go to 85% of my volume work, and it just wasn't happening. You know, I hit I think 275 for 7 for my 5+, and I just knew that 85% wasn't going to happen. So I stuck with the 80%, and I tried to hit my 4 to 6, but you saw I really even struggled with that. So it just wasn't the greatest day for me, but I plugged in and pretty much did the best I could. And then I hit squats later on in the week and kind of redeemed myself. So moving on to my second upper body day of the week. So this was I start my workouts with overhead press. You guys might have already seen some of this footage, but this was my 5+ set. Really pleased with this day overall. I also PR'd on one arm dumbbell row and dumbbell bench press. So I'm really liking the overhead press. You know, not too many people do this. You know, there's some people that say that dumbbell is better than the barbell, and I'm not going to argue that, but I really like this movement. I really enjoy having a bench press day and an overhead press day, and it's really easy to get strong at. I feel like it's helped me with my strength in all the areas. And here are I think this is my first set of dumbbell rows. These were the 80s. My tempo, you saw I lost my grip. I usually do a hook grip there, but had to kind of switch to a normal grip now. I was pretty pleased with my tempo, and I was really feeling it in my lats, so nothing to complain here. I'll probably stick with these 80s for a while, just because I really don't like to ego lift at all when it comes to my back especially. So I'll stick with the 80s for a while until I feel really comfortable like I did with the 75s. And then this was, I believe, my last set of dumbbell bench press, so I went up to the 90s after hitting 4 sets of 6 with the 85s. And this felt really good. Again, I really enjoy doing dumbbell and barbell bench press. You know, a lot of people are too fixated on one of them, but I just say, you know, why can't you do both? So I really enjoy this as an assistance press, my overhead press. Again, progressing like normal. And overall, Thursday was a great day. Both of my upper body days were actually really productive. The only day that wasn't great was my first lower body day. And then the second lower body day, which was today, deadlift emphasis. So still doing sumos. I believe this is my 5+ set here, which was 290, and these felt really good. Yesterday, you know, I haven't been doing much since I've been pretty much snowed in with no class, no work, things like that. So yesterday I did a lot of reading. One of the books that I have called Strong Enough, Thoughts of 30 Years of Barbell Training by Mark Rippetoe. Most people know who Mark Rippetoe is, but I was just going through a lot of the stuff, and I was reading the deadlift chapter. There's a few deadlift chapters, and he actually mentioned pretty much my problem in one of his paragraphs or something, talking about your butt shooting up. And you can still kind of see it here, but if you compare it to my other videos, it's a lot less dramatic. And I pretty much fixed that by having my back more horizontal and my shoulders over the bar. So you see that my arms aren't actually in a straight line. There's actually kind of an angle from my shoulder to my hand, because your scapula has to actually be over the bar, not your shoulder. So I felt a lot stronger today doing this. Again, I hit 8, so it was my best lift overall. It's probably my best set of the week. And I definitely had a few more left in me. I think that was my 8th rep, so I definitely could have pushed a little bit harder. And then I went up to 90%. The main reason I did that, because these are hexagon plates at the gym I was lifting at today, and I just didn't want to pull a lot of reps, so I just went with doubles really, and I wanted to feel some heavy weight, so I pulled 335 for 2. This set felt great. You can see that it was not easy, but I was definitely feeling confident. I was trying to hit like 4 sets today, and this one really threw me off. That first rep there was good. And then you see these plates really mess with me. It completely screwed up. I couldn't pull it from there. And I kind of like messed with me mentally a little bit. And it shouldn't have gotten to me, but it did. And then this rep pretty much sucked. And I felt like, I'd rather just play it safe than, push it a little too hard and, end up injuring myself or whatever. So I just hit this one for 2 and then moved on to squats. But overall, I felt a lot stronger. And I'm thinking that tip that I had from Ripito really will help me out in the future. So. And then moving on to, this was my second movement of the day, which was back squat again. I backed off a little bit of the weight, so I hit 75% instead of the 80, and these felt a lot better than my 80% and definitely all the squats I performed Tuesday. So again, it helped a lot, just squatting twice a week. I was going to do front squats, but I felt like I needed to redeem myself. So that was the training for the week, guys. Again, thank you guys for watching this video. I have kind of the summary coming up here. The second lower body day was much better than the first. But again, all pretty much were good besides those squats. And all my assistance work's really strong. I'm really noticing that these big 4 that I'm doing, they're transferring over to a lot of other exercises, which is something I really like doing. And I'll see you guys next week for the hypertrophy training. And till then, take care.